I'm excited. Okay, I'll mute myself.
Hey, everybody. It is so great to see you. We are live this morning at the LoveWorks campus. Carolyn, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Maybe if someone can guess in the comments, maybe what studio I'm in. There's not a lot of clues here. There's just one color black background.
Well, we are at the LoveWorks campus. Carolyn, can we just wave? I don't know if it's going to pick us both up, but can we wave to everybody? Yay, we're back live. Yes, LoveWorks campus in Norman, Oklahoma. And this is where the leadership magic comes true. So thank you everybody for tuning in to our Link Up episode. This is now our 34th Link Up with LoveWorks. And as you can kind of see behind me, I have a rather big head, but there is a quote behind me, and we have a massive 30,000 ball pit. So if you walk into the LoveWorks campus, the first thing that you may see are all of our colorful balls and a quote on the wall that says, "Dreams come true here." And we believe that with all of our hearts, that LoveWorks is a place where you are never too young to be a dreamer and you are never too old to get started on your dream.
I love that, Michael. And our hope with Link with each week is that our special guest is going to connect with you wherever you find yourself today, and they're going to help inspire you to become the best version of yourself for tomorrow.
Well, with us just now entering the month of August, we have a special guest interview that we are so eager and anxious to get to. But we also wanted to make you aware of what's coming up this month. And a lot of us, well, I'm a dad, and so I'm thinking about school and education and what's next, what's going to happen. And part of our story, 9 years ago, we started LoveWorks, and we started reimagining what the space of after-school leadership could look like. I'll be honest with you, Carolyn, I don't know about you, but when I was in public school, I didn't want to have anything to do with anything after school other than maybe an extracurricular activity. So in other words, I've been in school all day. I didn't necessarily want to spend another hour or so working on my homework or even doing an arts and crafts. Nothing wrong with arts and crafts or playing freeze tag, but we dreamt that there could be something more. We could create something that could really fire up and tap into the purpose, passion that are inside the hearts of our students, to see the dreams just awakened and come alive. And so over the last 9 years, we worked with over 12,000 students. We've seen hundreds of them just selflessly give and serve in our local communities. We've had the very fortunate opportunity to help our young entrepreneurs start 3 for-profit entities. We're not the only ones that were reimagining a space or a pathway of education. We've had a great opportunity to collaborate with incredible professionals across the state of Oklahoma. And so we thought, with school just getting ready to start, and this isn't just dedicated towards students and families, but I believe business professionals are going to get a lot out of this. You're going to get a chance to meet and hear some stories, some great dreamer and doer stories from men and women who have reimagined the space of education.
We know that our families right now are making a lot of tough decisions, and we hope that our Reimagineers this month are going to inspire you and educate you about the great opportunities that are available here in Oklahoma and beyond. Michael, who do we have?
Yeah, so with that, let's give just a little teaser. Can we give a teaser for next week?
I think that's fair. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so either wait to the end of Link Up today, or afterwards, if you would like to go back and on loversleadership.org, check out our blog. A few weeks ago, we wrote a 2-part series about how I was personally inspired by a young 8-year-old of a co-founder of an entity, and we'll name that in just a little bit. But I was so inspired by this story, I just wanted to write about it. And it's this whole idea about what is your zone. So check that out. It's a part 1, part 2, and that's going to help you learn just more about why we're so excited about this series. And so also to let us know, drop a comment in the comment box below if there was someone that you would like us to interview here on Link Up with LoveWorks.
That's right. That brings us to our roll call time as well. So while you're commenting, maybe a Caesar Milan, anyone else that you want us to interview on Link with Loveworks, let us know your name, where you live, and your grade as well. Because parents, if you're out there, we want to know who you are too. And we also have a special question of the day to warm you up, and it's a throwback question, Michael. So we're going to throw it back to the 90s, and we're going to talk about some trends. Michael, what was your favorite trend of the 90s?
Wow, what was I sporting in my late 20s? Let's see. Just kind of kidding. Well, we have baggy clothing, stonewashed jeans. I don't know if this counts as a trend, but I would have to say when I think of the 90s, I think of a sideways ball cap. Music that I'm not going to sing. I'll leave the singing up to our guest, but the Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Ooh, that's good.
How about you, Carolyn?
I think when I was a kid in the 90s, I was obsessed with the fashion of Clueless. And so I really wanted like the plaid two set, like wanted it so bad. I might
I
have something similar in my closet now, but
I can see that, Carolyn. So please drop a comment in the comment box. What is your favorite 90s trend? And who knows, you may be the lucky winner at the very end where we're going to mail a special prize over to your house. Well, the waiting is over. We are going to get this party started. We're going to get it started right. Dreamers and doers, I just want to remind you of our format here with Link Up with Loveworks. Each week on Mondays, we have the very fortunate opportunity to sit down with a dreamer and a doer and to be able to hear their story. And we hope that story inspires you, and not just the story itself, but the journey. And of course, with any journey that someone takes to go after their big dream or their goal, you know that there are going to be obstacles, hurdles, and some challenges along the way. And so we don't want those to discourage you. If anything, we hope that this story encourages you to keep pressing forward, keep taking one step at a time so you can reach your dream.
well, I'm really excited about our interview today, and we have a fun trivia question to actually warm you up. And this one comes with a chance to win a prize. And so this is a little clue about our upcoming guests. The question is for all of our Disney fanatics out there, how many Disney princesses are on the official princess lineup? So not just how many princesses are there overall, but how many are on the official lineup? We're looking for a number. First person that gives us the correct answer will get a prize mailed directly to your house this week.
Well, that sounds exciting. I'm very curious how many Disney princesses are on the unofficial list, but we're looking for the official one. Drop in that number. Hey, let's get started. Let's meet our dreamer and doer. Her name is Erica Ray.
Erica Ray was born and raised in the heart of Oklahoma. She began singing and writing her own music at a very young age. And after graduating from the Academy of Contemporary Music in Oklahoma City, Erica began leading worship along with furthering her studies in social work. In 2019, she released her debut single, Masterpiece, a song purposely written for a nonprofit in her hometown that serves child sexual abuse survivors. Writing music has helped Erica in her own healing process, and she's dedicated to empowering those who are finding their own voices. Her latest single, At Home Now, Holy, 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 is an artistic expression of how faith is the source of her peace and sense of belonging. She is now writing more music and enjoys working for Character Connection Co., where she gets to perform as Disney princesses at children's parties. She's absolutely thrilled to be working at the Women's Resource Center in Norman, where she gets the opportunity to serve her community as well. Hey, Erica.
Hi.
Yay! It's so
Hello.
good to have you on.
I'm excited.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us this Monday morning. Michael and I were just talking a little bit about the 90s. I know both you and I, we grew up in the 90s, which might actually just be a really great segue to bring us back to your childhood. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what was it like growing up for you?
Growing up for me was definitely full of adventure. I have always been someone that I have loved to be outdoors, just exploring. I've always been I mean, I've always been really interested in just nature and different bugs and little creatures and stuff. I think snakes are cool. I'm just going to throw that out there. I think they're awesome. I own two bearded dragons now. Both of them are 2 feet long. So I've kept that, interest in nature as part of my life. But growing up, I mean, I was always singing. When I would be outside exploring and stuff, I would sing so loud that our neighbors who or kind of far away, I would say 3 acres away, could hear me singing. And at first, I was embarrassed when they told my mom that they could hear me singing all the time. But then they told her, just don't let her stop. Just let her keep singing. Like, we want her to sing. So I would just go out there and sing. Sometimes Disney princess stuff, sometimes Destiny's Child, if anyone knows who they are, just anything and everything. I was always singing. And I grew up just constantly trying to write little songs. My mom tells a story of me in the car with her while it's raining outside and the windshield wipers are going back and forth, and I'm just making up a song to the beat of the windshield wipers. And that became a thing for me. I just did it all the time. I was constantly just trying to write little songs. And I mean, this was starting at age 4, 5, 6, and I might still do that.
You might still do that. I love that. Well, I know you just immediately captured some of our students' attention, mentioning some animals that you have, and your love for nature. I know that definitely connects with them. But even your passion for music, something that started really early on. I can just imagine a young girl just belting some Destiny's Child, uh, being able to hear her from 3 acres away. That is a really, really amazing. So you had a passion for music from a really young age.
Yeah, my first time on stage was in kindergarten, and I was actually dressed as Cinderella, but I sang a song from the movie Anastasia, who Anastasia is not an official princess. I think she should be. It's a great movie. But yeah, that was my very first time to sing on stage. I got up there, and um, I've been singing on stage ever since.
That's awesome.
Erica, I love how you took us back, and I can just imagine this neighbor's house 3 acres away that could overhear just you belting out and singing. I've got to be honest, my neighbors didn't live that far away, and I like to sing too at that age, but I wasn't being encouraged to sing more. If anything, I think we'd probably turn the volume up to maybe drown out my singing voice. I think we could all probably maybe guess your answer to this, but I'm just kind of curious. Maybe we'll park here for another moment or two, but can you talk with us a little bit about what you felt your first dream was and that you remember?
I remember I always had a dream that I just wanted a song that I wrote myself to be on a radio station, just on a radio station, because when I was in the car with my mom driving, I always wanted, I would hear these songs and I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that so badly. And I'm actually super excited to say that like a few days ago, I found out that my new song At Home Now will be on a radio station in the UK called United Christian Broadcasters. So I'm really excited because, when I was thinking about this interview, I was like, wow, well, my first childhood dream didn't really come true. And then
That is incredible. So we can say that Link Up with and Love Works has the privilege of like being the big public announcement, Erica.
yeah.
We were talking about this before we went live, and I'm just curious. I mentioned in a joke, I was half joking, but I still like to sing. My kids tell me, Daddy, turn the volume up, make it louder. I think a lot of us like to sing. How did you know though? And how did you know? Is it something that you felt inside and had a knowing that this was your dream, that was meant for you, that one day that you would pursue?
I just couldn't stop thinking about it. It was just something every morning when I woke up, I thought about it. I was thinking about it when I went to sleep. that's a really good indication that it's the dream of your heart. Is if you just, that is what your mind drifts towards during the day. You start thinking about, how can I do more of this one thing? Like, this is what sets me on fire. And so for me, that was music.
I love it. So write that down. That's a question, right? Not just about music, but what lights your heart on fire, and begin to attempt to fill in that blank. That's good.
I'm sure that we have listeners out there that can totally relate with that thing that's keeping them up, or that thing that they immediately think of as soon as they wake up before they go to bed. We know that music has played as that role, and just being a big passion in your life. But what kind of role has music played overall in your life?
Music has definitely helped me process my own emotions. Struggling with something, but it's also helped me celebrate when I just have so much joy inside that I just want to get it out. I write, or I just sing something random, even if it's not a song. I just make noise to make noise because I'm so excited. And it's also helped me connect with other people. And I love people. I love conversations. I love face-to-face connection with people. And when you're doing something like music, you have to work with a team. You know, everyone has their own unique talents. I'm not gifted in music production, which is, you know, creating the songs and stuff. I definitely am gifted in melody and lyrics, but I come together with these people, and I love that connection, that we can work together to create something. And so that's, yeah.
Well, I love that. It's an expression of your emotions and things that are happening to you right then and there. Can you? I know you write music with a purpose as well. I know we alluded to that in kind of the bio about a couple of songs, "Masterpiece" and also "At Home Now." Could you share with us just a little bit more about like "Masterpiece," the background behind that, and maybe even just a little tease of the song?
Yeah, so Masterpiece, I wrote that with specific people that I knew in mind. I volunteer at a nonprofit in Norman called Bethesda, and it's a nonprofit counseling service for child sexual abuse survivors. So I would go in there every summer, and we listen to so much music as we're healing, as we're sharing. And I really wanted to write a song that I could use some of my story, because I'm also a child sexual abuse survivor, to relate to them and connect with them through music. So I wrote Masterpiece, which is exactly about my healing process, and just letting people know that you are a masterpiece. Like, no matter what happens to you, everything can be used to make something beautiful, and everything in your life can be a work of art. So I would love to share a little tease of it with you guys.
Please, Erica, that would be incredible this morning.
Stainless hearts can break, but the colors inside stay the same. Oh, the healing that you do, let your light shine back through. The tears, they fall on the page. They tell our stories, how we became warriors. Now we stand together hand in hand. Oh, don't you see? You are a masterpiece. In a portrait of God, there is beauty and strength. Oh, you see.
Erica, that is beautiful. Thank you for sharing your gift with us. So powerful. I know it's just part of the song, and we'll share in just a few minutes, of course, where we can find find that song and other music as well too. I'm just imagining you volunteering your time, your talent at Bethesda, and perhaps a young girl hearing that song for the first time. You have a lyric that says, "Every memory, every scar becomes a work of art." Can you talk to us a little bit more about that particular lyric?
Yeah, so I wrote that, and I I heard this analogy once that has really stuck with me, and it's about a beautiful Persian rug. So you see those rugs that they're very popular right now. I have one in my house. They have all maybe the different colors, but they're just a beautiful rug. But if you flip the rug over, you see all of the thread, and it looks really jumbled on the other side of the rug. And so what goes on the other side of the rug may look like a mess, but it creates something beautiful. And so the times in my life when I have felt like I've been hurting, I've been grieving, I've lost a loved one, I all of those things come together and make me stronger and create this beautiful picture. So,
So good. Well, again, thank you for sharing your gift. You're so brave and inspirational. I also want you to give a shameless plug. And so where can we find Masterpiece and of course your newest single as well too?
you can find it on any platform. It's on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon Prime Music, YouTube Music, but just look up Erica Ray and I'll have a picture of me. Masterpiece actually has artwork of me that one of my friends did, and I'm just so grateful that she has that talent. She is so talented. Her name is Lainey, and she does amazing artwork that I've never been able to do, but she did a little portrait of me, and so you'll see that.
Well, I know you've seen the motivational quote. It takes what a team to make the dream work, and there's no doubt about that. It takes others to help us to get to the place we want to go. Let's talk a little bit more about some other things you're doing. You're singer songwriter, but not only that, you also work, as was mentioned, for the Women's Resource Center here in Norman, Oklahoma. Can you tell us about that organization and the work that you do?
Yeah, so we are a nonprofit, and we help empower those who have experienced domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking. So we have a shelter, we have free counseling, we have advocates. So we just try and assist families, women, men, families, and just try and help them heal in the best way that we possibly can. So,
Erica, you've talked about some just different, really powerful perspectives, especially on healing and overcoming trauma. And I think that even leads to you dreaming, and having really big visions for your future. Can you share with us something that you're working on right now, a big dream?
yeah, so right now I'm working on two different singles, and they are completely different. So, one I'll be releasing under Erica Ray, and I'm working on that. I have a specific group of women in mind. I'll be going to a retreat in November, and so I'm writing the song specifically for that retreat. And then the other single, I'm collaborating with a producer, and it has an 80s vibe. So I know we're talking about the 90s, but it has an 80s vibe. It's completely different. It's fun. You listen to it driving in your car. I think like windows down, the sun is shining, maybe you have a snow cone. I don't know. I just think of it's hopefully will be super fun.
I love you just painting the picture. I'm gonna be listening to that song now, exactly the way that you said.
Well, I think on part two, when we bring you back, Erica, we will insert that as a question. We'll have an 80s question, and then we'll get a chance to hear that new single. Erica, we would love for you to join now a company of our other previous 33 guests now that have answered this particular question. And we work with primarily middle school to high school students. And so the question we just love to ask our dreamer and doer is, if you had an opportunity to go back a few years, or maybe more than a few years, and give one piece of advice to either your middle school or high school self, does anything in particular come to mind?
Yes, I would definitely tell myself, I would say, Erica, do not put yourself in a box. Do not put limits on what you can create. And also to just not worry about the pressure to be perfect, just focus on my own purpose. There's a lot of pressure to be perfect or to fit in and do what someone else is doing, but we all have a unique sound, we all have a unique skill. It doesn't even have to be music, and we all need that uniqueness to help make our world go round. So
It is in discovering that really does make our world go around. I like how you said that. It doesn't have to be music, but find your unique you, and the world, especially in a time like this, desperately needs you to find it, discover it, and express it in whichever way that you can. Erica, as we begin to wind down this interview, we're going to encourage everyone that is watching to be able to drop a question. We're going to have a little Q&A with you at the end. So thank you for being generous with your time. But we want you to now link it all up together. And so we call this our last minute link. I believe Carolyn will have her stopwatch somewhere here at the LoveWorks campus, but we just want to give you 1 minute to link it all up together and share with us something that's on your heart that could encourage our students' big dreams. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, set and go.
Be kind to yourself when creating. Get a journal, and whatever your dream is, music, engineering, woodworking, anything, just write down, just start writing, and don't throw anything away because you think it's not good enough yet or because it will take time to accomplish. Because I've heard this many times, the time itself will pass anyways. So just dream loud. I think of when I was a little girl singing outside and my neighbors could hear me. Somewhere along the way in high school, I kind of started getting a little quiet with my dreams. I got a little embarrassed. I didn't want to share them. And now I'm learning to just dream loud, to sing loud again. So just do what you do and do it loud and be bold.
That was awesome. And under the minute mark. Great job. Well, students, parents, whoever is listening out there, I hope you heard that. Dream loud. Be kind to yourself in the creative process. It is a work in progress, and it will soon become a masterpiece. You never know where stories begin and how they might end. Erica, thank you so much for just sharing your heart, your story, and just your passion for music and how you've been using that to connect with people and even just promote life change and healing through that process. And so we're so grateful. We're better for getting to know you more and even getting to hear your music, of course. I know you mentioned a few different spots. We'll bring you back for our Q&A in just a few minutes. We're going to jump into a couple of upcoming events, right, Michael?
You are right about that. Carolyn, I'm just fired up thinking the dreaming loud. I don't think it's been said that way on Link Up yet. I love that. Maybe it's a new quote on a wall.
I was literally thinking that. I was like, I think Michael's probably, maybe that's our new backdrop for our Link episodes.
Or maybe talk to Erica. Maybe she can customize the song, Dream Loud, LoveWorks. I don't know. But that is so good. Questions are already coming in. Erica, if you are listening, there is a question about your bearded dragons. You might need to find the receipt to see where you got them. Apparently, we have someone that's interested in bearded dragons. But we are going to get to Q&A, but we do want to make you aware of a special event. And it's events like these that help make our world go around here at LoveWorks. And we have a special event where it's a fundraising dinner event, but it is virtual. And so you don't have to be concerned about going out into a big group gathering or an event. We realize that can be a challenge depending upon where you live, but we're going to bring the dinner to you. And not just that, but LoveWorks is teaming up with master chef contestants that have been on the show, that have rubbed shoulders with Christina Tosi, Aron Sanchez, Graham Elliott, and Gordon Ramsay. And they're going to prepare a 4-course meal. You're going to get a chance to cook that meal that's delivered to your home with them, we would love for you to team up and partner with LoveWorks. It's going to be a great, great opportunity to be able to give back to this organization. If you're interested, we would love for you to find out more information and buy tickets on loveworksleadership.org. Check that out. It's going to be a great, tasty event, Carolyn.
I am so excited for that event. I think we're going to have a few surprises up our sleeves. I think you're going to get quite an experience. Anyone that is curious about getting a box. All right. Well, Erica, it's time for some Q&A. This first question refers to just your love for connecting with people. So you mentioned earlier you love connecting with people, and since we've all been homebound since the spring, what ways have you found that work for you to continue to connect with people?
So I've set up quite a few FaceTime dates, I call them, with friends. I actually have a friend who loves working out, and she is very knowledgeable about working out. So she's been helping me. We've been doing FaceTime workouts together, which is a fun way to connect. And also I've been writing people letters, and I've actually dropped off a couple letters at people's houses, no contact, and trying to, respect their social distancing space, but also just letting them know I'm thinking of them.
So good. Way to get creative. Let's get to the bearded dragon question. So bearded dragons, I don't happen to have one, but who knows? Maybe this could inspire me too. What are the names of the two that you have, and how old are they?
So we have Fizzy, who is my first bearded dragon. And then we have Oscar, who is the second bearded dragon. They both have completely different personalities because bearded dragons do have personalities. And Fizzy is 2.5. She should be 3 pretty soon. And then Oscar is about 1.5. So he's younger.
Very good. Erica, we have one more question before we let you go for the day. Let's talk influences. And who would you say has been one of the biggest, most positive influences so far in your life?
Definitely my mom and my grandma. I grew up, my grandma would sing me to sleep, and that always stuck with me. It made me feel so safe. So in my circle of family and stuff, they really influenced me, but I'm very influenced by a lot of art that I see and that I experience. I have a lot of different musical artists that I look up to, and so.
Oh, well, Erica, thank you so much again for just your time this morning, sharing your story. You're an inspiration. I know you just touched on parts of your story, but there is so much there. I hope that the song's Masterpiece, your newest one, Holy, 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 and I know that you have a couple that are going to be released soon, I know are going to encourage so many more people. So thanks for your time today. We are definitely better for it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Well, everyone, what a way to kick off and be back here live with you and link up with LoveWorks. We hope that you got as much out of today as we did. We definitely want to remind you to mark your calendars also too for next week as we kick off, we call it this series of a few guests that we would call Imagineers that are reimagining the space of education. I think you're going to be really encouraged. Next week's guest is Matina Hunnell, who is a co-founder and head of a school here in Noble, Oklahoma called Evergreen and Acton Academy. She's an educator, musician, mom, fan of coffee, and I know that she is going to be a big, big inspiration as, again, all of our eyes are on the fall and what school is going to look like. And I do know this, that any student that is attending Acton, their student is in very, very good hands, and we're seeing them flourish. Just a reminder that you can check out all things digital for LoveWorks and even learn more about that big virtual fundraising dinner event as we team up with Master Chef professional chefs over at loveworksleadership.org.
And remember, real leaders, they don't blend in, they stand out.
Dream big, everybody.
And do your dream.